Hello and welcome to Project Ready TV. My name is Angie Anderson Moten, and today we have Tedra Coakley with us, who is so many things to the Urban League. She's our social media coordinator, she's an education coordinator, and she will be presenting, what it means to have cabin fever today with us. And I'm so excited to have her join in. You'll see her a lot on Project Ready TV with us. But before we get started, I would like for her to just talk a little bit about who she is and what she does here at the Urban League. So, Tedra, tell the people.
So, like Angie said, I do different things with the Urban League. So, if you happen to come across any social media posts on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, it probably came from me. I also teach our teen pregnancy prevention program at Legacy Early College, and I also help out with Project Ready. So you may have seen me at some of the workshops. So kind of like a jack of all trades here. But I am excited to talk to y'all today about cabin fever, because if you are anything like me, you've probably started to kind of feel a little stir crazy since we've kind of been on lockdown with the whole pandemic. And we want to make sure that you guys are able to handle that in a safe and productive way. So what do you think, Angie? Should we get started?
So this is a very good topic. If your parents are around, grab them. If you have some friends or neighbors that you feel like, they could use this information, please grab them. So go ahead on and tell us about cabin fever.
Okay, so I actually put together a presentation for you guys just to kind of give you a visual. So let me pull that up for y'all. Okay, so like I said, cabin fever can kind of come on gradually, or it could be a sudden thing that kind of happens with us being in the house right now. But in case you're not sure what it is, this is the definition from Merriam-Webster Dictionary, and basically states that cabin fever refers to the distressing, claustrophobic irritability or restlessness experienced when a person or group is stuck at an isolated location or in confined quarters for an extended period of time. And as you know, we are going on a month, I think, of being in the house. So you may be feeling that, especially if you have lots of family members in your home. And if you're not sure, here's some more information on what the symptoms are. So if you're feeling restless, or you're just have a lack of motivation, don't really feel like doing anything, if you're starting to get snappy with your family members, if you are starting to feel hopeless, you feel like you can't concentrate on the task at hand, if your sleep has been out of whack, which could mean that you are sleeping too much or you're not getting enough sleep. You might have trouble waking up. It's like it's hard to get out of bed. If you're feeling lethargic, just no energy at all, you're starting to get wary of the people around you, like, maybe feeling paranoid, your patience has worn thin, or if you just feel sad or depressed all the time. Just want you to know there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that you are most likely experiencing cabin fever, and that's okay. That's normal for a time like this. So this is the thing though, for people who are extroverts, they could feel this a lot more than someone who's an introvert, because extroverts are social people. They love being around people and going out, participating in activities. So now that we have to be inside and they can't go out and do those things, they might feel the symptoms a lot more than someone who's introverted. If you love being in the house and don't like crowds of people, this could be a welcome thing for you being inside right now. However, if you are starting to experience some of those symptoms, then that's okay, because we do have breaking points. So there's only but so much you can enjoy being inside. So it's okay if you feel that way, but just know that these are all normal feelings, and we're going to help you figure out what you can do to get over those. So, what can you do? I think the first thing you should do to combat cabin fever is to just have a routine. So that means setting your clock, maybe the night before, planning out your day, figure out what tasks you have and put together a plan to get them done. And it's also important to schedule breaks, because you don't want to get burnt out and feel like you have to do everything at once. So make sure you are taking a breather throughout that day. But a routine is something, when we're living in an uncertain time, is something that will help you combat all of the different uncertainties you might be experiencing. So get that together, and I guarantee you will start to feel a difference. The next thing you can do is to just get organized. So that means getting your thoughts organized. If you need to write them down, that's great. Or even just talking to your friends, your family. If you have a therapist you can call, or a trusted adult, definitely talk to them about what's going on in your head, and they can help you get those organized so that you are keeping those thoughts healthy. It's also important to get your space organized. If you're having to stay in the house all day, you want to make it a place that's clean and inviting, so you don't mind being in there 24/7. Next up is staying physically active. I cannot tell you how important it is to do that, because when you're sitting around all day, and if you're just eating all the time, you might start to put on some quarantine pounds, and that's not necessarily what we want. But it's also going to help you just to break up the monotony. So you can maybe try a new workout routine. Lots of social media influencers and gyms are putting their workouts online. Some of them are even for free. There's tons of resources on the internet. Google is your friend. So look them up and see if there's something fun you can do. You can try yoga, you could try a cardio kickboxing class, and there's lots of programs out there where you don't need any equipment. So don't worry if you don't have dumbbells and jump ropes and things like that. And then the easiest thing to do is just go for a walk. If you have a pet, take them outside with you, run around with them, because they need the exercise as well. But just, walk around your neighborhood, get to know what it actually looks like. Most of us stay inside. We don't even know that they're building new houses down the street. So take that time to get some fresh air, and that will help you a lot. I think staying mentally active is probably the most important thing that you can do during this time. So some of those things would include reading. That's a surefire way to keep your mind active and keep it healthy. So I know we usually are stuck reading books for school. This is the opportunity to read some stuff that you actually want to read. You can also play games, whether that's playing board games with your family or video games with your friends. That helps keep your mind active, and now you've got lots of time to do that. You can also start a new hobby. There's so many things that you can do. You can scrapbook, you can collect things, you can also learn a new skill. There's lots of programs on the internet now that are offering free classes. So that way you can learn how to do something. There's so many YouTube videos. You can learn how to do different crafts, how to create jewelry. You can learn how to do new hairstyles, new makeup ideas. There's so many things you can do. The possibilities are endless. So try those and see if you come out of this learning something fun. I think journaling is a great thing to do as well. Mm-hmm. And that kind of goes with organizing your thoughts. So just write down how you feel on a day-to-day basis. If you feel like you're going crazy because you can't leave the house, write that down. I think it's a really good way to get your thoughts out of your head and put them on paper and see how that makes a difference. Especially if you feel like you can't talk to anyone about what you're feeling, just getting them down and going over it, I think makes a big difference in your mood, because it's hard to just keep things in. So even if you can't talk to someone, getting it out on paper is a form of getting it out of your mind.
That's a good point.
Yes. And this kind of goes with working things out, organizing your thoughts as well, but meditating or praying, I think, is super important. Whether you pray or meditate or do both, this is something that will help clear your mind, because you might be feeling really anxious about things, maybe a little bit paranoid. You can have some negative thoughts. So prayer is a way that you can talk to whomever you call God. Meditation basically helps calm your thoughts in a clear, safe way. And it's a really good thing to do as a part of the self-care practice, because if you are used to being out and about and hanging out with friends, and now you're having to be around your family all the time, which can be a great thing, but it can also drive you a little bit crazy. You need to take time away from all of that. Close yourself up in your room, or maybe you have to get in the tub and soak, and just take that time to relax, clear your mind, have a talk with God, have a talk with yourself, whatever you need to do to keep your mind right, because it can be so easy to fall into a depression when you don't have an outlet. And this is a great way to get that outlet that you need. So that's pretty much it, you guys. I don't want to keep y'all long, but I think it's really important to just take that time to really think about the things that are coming up that you never thought about before. We never had to think about, well, what's going to happen if we can't leave the house? This is really unprecedented. No one knows what's going to happen from one day to the next. So it's important to keep yourself busy and continue to try to do things as normally as possible. So if you're used to going to school and then coming home and doing your homework, and then maybe talking to your friends for a couple hours after that, continue to do that. You're still having homework, and then you're still having your friends to talk to. Just because you can't talk to them in person during the school day doesn't mean you can't pick up the phone and call them. I know that might be a little weird for you guys because we're so tech savvy. But yeah, you can actually call people on your phone. You can do video chats with your friends, so you can still see them at least. And that is a great way to stay connected and stay plugged in to what's going on around you. But I hope you guys are getting something from this. I know it's difficult. It's been tough for me. Have you struggled with some of those things?
I have, just a little bit, but definitely having Marco Polo or Tango or Google Hangouts. Now, we get to see each other as coworkers. We're not always here live with you. So, sometimes we get to see each other through meetings, through Google Hangouts and things of that nature. So it's always refreshing to, be able to speak with someone and just, we kind of joke around and say what we've been doing before we get our meetings going. But you guys can definitely do the same thing. I would just encourage like family game nights. I know my family, we've scheduled a few of those, and we actually did what's that game, Tedra? Ellen's game, Heads
Oh,
Up.
heads up, yeah,
So
that's fun.
you can put that on your head, and then your family members can guess, whatever the category is. And so you just have to be creative during this time. I really think that this is a time where, she mentioned journaling. Put all your thoughts and ideas down on paper and really see what can happen and where these thoughts and ideas can go from here, just as long as you're putting the work behind it. Don't just let it sit on paper.
hmm And I also want to note that you don't necessarily have to come out of this being super productive and have a plan for what you want to do with your life. It's okay if you take the time to just relax. I know there are lots of memes and posts floating around social media about coming out of this with a new skill set, and it's great if that's something that you want to do, but it's okay if you don't either. I don't want anyone to feel pressured like I need to have done this and that by the time this is all over. If you just need to take this time to kind of reset yourself and to make sure that you're taking care of yourself the best way you know how, then by all means, do that. Focus on yourself, because self-care is super important. Because if you can't love yourself and take care of yourself to be the best person you can be, no one else can do it for you. That's something that you have to work on. So it's okay if you're not learning new skills or taking up new hobbies, just as long as you are finding other ways to be able to channel that energy into something positive.
Yeah, and then I also want to encourage you, just because you guys are not physically at school, this is not the time to slack up. We have to make sure that we're completing our academic studies. You want to make sure that you're checking in with your teachers, that you're, logging into your Google Hangouts. It is so important. I cannot stress enough, you still have to do the work, guys. We want to make sure that everybody is excelling and passing to the next grade level. Don't look at this as a vacation. So everything that Tedra said, yes, I, I piggyback that. I support it 100%. But as an urban lead agency that is about making sure our students are prepared for college, work, and life, it is not the time to slack up on your homework and on your schoolwork. Whatever your parents have for you for, your day, make sure you're getting in the homework. Make sure you're turning in the homework. Make sure whatever the assignment is and the homework is, that you guys are turning that in. I cannot stress that enough, because we definitely want to make sure that everybody is doing their part academically. I just wanted to put that part in
Oh
there
yeah,
because
no, that's so
that's very
important
important.
because like you said, it's not a vacation. You still have work to do, just
Mhm.
like we still have work to do. And I know it's easy to slack off during this time, but again, it all goes back to the presentation on Cabin Fever. This is going to help keep your mind active, which you need. So getting your schoolwork in. If you want to do some extra stuff, you can. That includes joining us in these virtual workshops. We've got virtual college tours going on. We're talking to you about financial literacy and ways to make sure that you're still learning all the things that you need to learn so that you are properly prepared for college, work, and life.
So, cabin fever, anybody can beat it. Tedra gave us some great tips today. Set your alarm, stay active, stay mentally healthy, and checking on others are so important. So I definitely appreciate you, Tedra, for that piece. I know it will help our students and our parents. But before we log off for today, we're going to have Project Ready TV Trivia. You ready, Tedra?
I guess.
So, first question. This is an Urban League fact.
Okay.
How many affiliates are there in the National Urban League?
Is this multiple choice?
Well, I was just thinking that you knew it, right offhand because you are an urban leaguer. But okay,
I don't think I know the answer,
I'll give you some.
but it would be good to have some options to eliminate.
Okay, so not to help Tedra, but to help you out there. A, 87. B, 90. C, 1,115. D, 100.
Okay. I think I can eliminate C.
Yes.
That's too much.
Yes. That would be great if you can eliminate it.
Okay, and 87 kind of sounds good, but I don't think that's it. And I think 100 is too much either. So maybe 90?
90 is correct. The National Urban League has 90 affiliates under its umbrella, and we are called, again, Urban League of the Upstate. And we have 2 offices. We have one in Spartanburg and, of course, one in Greenville. And then we kind of have a satellite a little bit.
Yeah.
In Greenwood, we have a project ready there. So we have 90 affiliates, which we all are doing awesome work. And you should definitely look up some Urban League history to see where we have come from, starting out as a civil rights movement, which we still actively do. But we do so many things. We do housing, we do education. So we are here to serve our community. So great job, Tedra. I'm glad you got that right. The next question, some Urban League history. Which National Urban League CEO was distinctively known as a presidential advisor?
Well,
I'm gonna give you some
choices. We got choices? Okay.
Give some choices. See, I like to take a pause there because I want to see.
I think I know
where where they're thinking. So, A, Mark Morrell. B, Vernon Jordan. C, Lester Granger. Or D, Whitney Young Jr.
Okay. Well, I know Mr. Morrell is our current president. And I have not heard anything like that about him. I'm not familiar with the other 2, but seeing as we have a really big award named after him, I'm going to go with Whitney Young Jr.
That is absolutely correct.
Yay! Do I get a prize?
Yeah. You get to continue to be the social media coordinator at the Urban League of the Upstate. I mean, we need you, and we need to keep giving our students this wonderful trivia. So, as always, at the end of our time with you, we will bring Project Ready TV trivia because just like we learn, I learn something all the time about the Urban League. Just because, we work here doesn't mean that we know all the history. It is so rich. It is so much. If you ever come to visit our Urban League in Greenville, we have so much information, especially about our past CEOs. So, anybody's welcome once we are able to come back outside and just learn about the history. You can look it up online if you don't want to wait to come visit us. But it's so important for us, not only as staff, but it's for you, the people that we serve every day, to understand where the Urban League started and where we are today. And it's just so much, so much good information. But nevertheless, any final thoughts, tips, anything for our students and kids?
Just do the best you can. I know this is a difficult time and we have no idea when things are going to get back to normal, but we are here for you in whatever way we can to help you. So do not be afraid to reach out. We'll do the best that we can as well.
Remember to do your part by social distancing, and we will hopefully see you later. And my name is Angie Anderson Moten, and this is and we have enjoyed our time with you.